Hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Carl from Sovcits and Chronicles. Today we're going to be in the courtroom of Judge Tammi Hayward out of Clayton County, Georgia. She's going to be presiding over a case with a sovereign citizen who has multiple traffic violations. All right, so let's get to this proceeding. Oh, and by the way, it's going to be three different proceedings.
All right, Mr. Resto. Mr. Resto, you have two cases. You have case number. You hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
I hear you.
So you're before the court on 2019 CR 04954 for driving on a suspended or revoked license, no license, failure to display license, or failure to have license on person. I'm not sure, it cuts off, and no tag or expired or invalid tag. So that's on the first case. Case from 2020 03114, you have a suspended or revoked license. You're represented by Lister and Holt on one of the cases, but not on the other. Did you want Lister and Holt to represent you, or did you want to represent yourself?
I'll represent myself.
On both cases?
Yes, ma'am. I have a quick question as far as locker term when it comes to driver's license.
Okay.
Okay, you're only allowed to have one driver's license, and I have an Alabama driver's license. So when I get pulled over, I actually show them my Alabama driver's license, and it's current. It's the most current, and so they make a determination if they should go off the Georgia driver's license or the Alabama driver's license. And when I present the Alabama driver's license, they let me go because my Alabama license is valid. And you're only allowed to have one. And I had Alabama license first. So my
I believe
Georgia
this sounds like
license,
a not guilty.
Okay. So, Mr. Resto, what Mr. Taylor is saying is this is something that you could prove at trial. If you present that information at trial, then that means you want to go to trial instead of taking a plea. I don't know what the recommendation is, and I don't know.
Well, the recommendation was, I think I've been dealing with this case for an awful long time now, so
Yeah.
I don't really want to go to trial. I just want to get it behind me. But I think that the recommendation, I remember the recommendation quite clear. They offered me 40 hours of community service. Is that still on the table?
Okay, no, Mr. Resto, it's more than that. So let me explain why I know it's more than that. You have two driving on a suspended license charges. So if you have a NOLO available to you, the basic fine for driving on suspended or revoked license, just hear me out. I'm gonna explain what the recommendation might be based on. So the basic fines and fees for driving on a suspended license is the first time in 5 years. If you get one, then you can enter a NOLO plea if you have a NOLO plea eligible to you, and then the fine is $500. But if you get a second one, the fine goes to $1,000. A third one, the fine goes to $1,500 and 10 days mandatory jail time. So the fines go up by, I think, $500 every time you get one within a 5-year period. Now, I may be wrong. Mr. Taylor can correct me because it's hard to keep all of these statutes in my head. But you have a second one, which means that you might be able to enter a NOLO to the first one, but then the second one is outstanding. So when you took a plea to the second one, that would definitely suspend your license. So that's what's on the table is so when Mr. Taylor says it'd probably be better for you to go to trial because you would have to prove those things like that, having a valid Alabama license and not being under suspension. Those are things that you can prove at trial, which having back-to-back driver's license suspension charges, if you plead to them, at least one of them is going to suspend your license.
Okay.
And the fines are hefty. So you would get a plea on the first one, and that's a $500 fine, which is $737.50. But the next one is going to be $1,000 in addition to that, and that's $1,420. So we're looking at almost $2,200.
Your Honor, is Mr. Resto represented on the particular case that we're referring to?
Well, I don't
address
know
him directly if he's represented, because this is a serious matter.
I get you. So that's why I'm saying, Mr. Resto, you have representation. I can allow you to be represented on both cases, and they can help you work this out. But understand
Well,
that
I was already represented by Lister and Holt, and we kind of been going back and forth with the district attorney's office for a while, and they've been giving me recommendations, and I still didn't take it, but they've been giving me recommendations. I don't know what's changed, but it definitely
okay.
wasn't $2,000.
Talk to your attorney and let them tell you what the recommendation they have on the table, okay? Because the recommendation, if you're represented, even if you're only represented on one case, the rec is probably going to come to your attorney.
Okay, now if I enter like an oral motion of dismissal based on constitutional grounds, are you standing on your constitutional oath?
Okay, I'm not sure what that is. So I have taken an oath to uphold the Constitution and to make sure that I treat people as the law would direct me to do so. So,
okay. Well, I asked this question previously when I was in your courtroom one day in regards to the right to travel under the 14th Amendment, stating that citizens do not need a permit to travel with a horse-drawn carriage, wagon, or automobile without interference by police. And I was on a public highway actually when I got pulled over.
Okay, so that's not actually in the Constitution.
And
So
I don't believe automobiles
to
were
travel
around when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mr. Taylor.
I just wanted to point out to the court that automobiles hadn't been invented when the 14th Amendment was ratified.
It says automobile, horse-drawn wagon, or carriage.
Okay,
so an automobile is not necessarily a car if it's a household good. It's just a form of transportation. It doesn't matter if it's an automobile, horse-drawn wagon, or carriage, because it's still a form of transportation, and citizens have the right to travel without interference by police. So I don't even know how the police are even allowed to interfere with travel when I'm not using my vehicle for commerce.
Your Honor,
it's
hold on, Mr.
totally
Taylor.
private household good.
Okay, so Mr. Resto, if somebody drove 100 miles an hour into the back of your vehicle and killed a family member, would you want the police to interfere?
That's a murder. I mean, that's if someone got killed.
But they're traveling. You can't interfere with somebody traveling.
No, I mean you can't. It's stating that a police just can't interfere with your traveling, like pulling you over for a traffic violation or a tag.
But you want them to interfere if somebody.
Now, if you murder somebody because of sovereign.
Okay, say you don't murder them. Say you just hurt them. Say you just damaged the vehicle. You don't want the police to interfere.
No, that's when it almost becomes like an accident or a crime or whatnot. So the police that's not really an interference. An interference with your traveling, not an interference when two citizens engage in an accident. It's interfering with you just traveling, simply traveling. Now, police officers, as far as public servants, they have a duty to serve to the people. So if a car accident occurs, then of course, public servants, as far as ambulance, as far as firemen, they will come to the scene just as a service. But for you to just interfere in my traveling is actually a violation of the Constitution.
Well, sir, the Constitution and the cases that have come out of the constitutional jurisprudence allow cities and states and municipal organizations to regulate travel for the benefit of the citizens. So they can put reasonable regulations on travel, meaning you can have a license. They can grant you the privilege of having a license to drive. They can regulate how your license is seen. If you don't have a license, or if your license is suspended, they can intervene to take your license away or your privilege to drive away. It is a crime. You can be convicted of not driving under a proper license. So the government is allowed to intervene in a lot of ways with people traveling. So I'm not sure where this information comes from, but there's a lot of stuff on the internet about traveling and the 14th Amendment and horse and buggies and even maritime law. But
I mean, an automobile was actually created before a driver's license was ever created. So people
Okay.
was actually their case pamphlets where people was actually operating vehicles before a driver's license ever became. That's actually, you guys are actually a conflict of interest, actually, as far as you being in cahoots with the DMV. That's a totally separate entity.
Okay,
And for
so
some reason,
Mr. Resto, do you want to resolve the case? Because it's
I
not going
want
to
to
be
resolve the
40
case, but
hours of,
I disagree with the fine amount because it changed. I would
it,
I would make an offer like I can do $1,000, maybe 12-month probation, but
Mr. Resto,
$2,000, that's excessive.
Mr. Resto, we're not negotiating. Those are statutory fines, meaning they're written into the law. I can't even change them.
Can I make a counter offer to the state and say it's $1,000? That can I be?
No,
Because I did do
sir.
time in jail. If the state would see that
Well,
and count.
That's why I'm saying that you may want to speak with an attorney because certain things that they can negotiate, I can't change the statute. I can't change what's written in it, but they can negotiate. And if the solicitor wants to give you credit for time in jail in lieu of the fine, those are things that they can do that I can't do.
Yeah. So I would ask to the district attorney, knowing that I did serve some days in jail, can you guys
Okay.
lower the fine and I just go ahead and end this
So,
case right now? I can do $1,000. I got $1,000 right now.
Mr.
And
Resto, so that's a conversation that you need to have with them directly without me being present, number one. Number two, the reason I keep saying you might want to go through your attorney is because they can explain to you what is already on the table and how that may or may not change, okay?
what's on the table now, man?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I would rather you have that conversation in a breakout room with the attorney who's assigned to your case and with the state, as opposed to here in the main room. One, because I have other cases that need to be addressed, and two, because that's not information I need to hear.
Okay, is it anything I can do to get this case resolved now? Because it's been lingering on
I'm
my
telling
head
you what to
for
do, but you're
years.
not listening, Mr. Reston. Mr.
I mean,
Resto,
today, like I want to resolve this today.
I get that you want to resolve it today, and I'm telling you what to do, but you're not listening to me. You can go into a breakout room with your attorney, and the attorney and you can discuss what's already on the table. And then if your attorney wishes to speak with the state to clarify anything, they can do that too. But you're not going to get it resolved by going back and forth with me because there's stuff I cannot do.
Okay, just tell the state that I'll take their recommendation. I'll just pay the $2,000 if they can give me 12 months to pay it off. And
Okay,
if I
sir,
pay it off early, if my probation can be terminated, that would be great.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Taylor, and I'm going to let you and Mr. Taylor and Mr. Kamani. I'm going to put Mr. Kamani in there because he represents you on one of the cases. So that way he can explain, or if anything Mr. Taylor says doesn't make sense to you, Mr. Kamani can explain it.
I'll take the recommendation you state as far as, $2,000.
I didn't state a recommendation is what I'm telling you. I explained what the law says. That was not a recommendation.
Okay.
I just know that it wasn't what you said because there's a certain minimum in the statute, and that's what I was explaining to you.
Okay. I just want you to time me now. I'm tired of fighting with y'all.
Room.
I got you. All right. So Mr. Dickerson, yes.
I was just wondering, how do I get the breakout room for?
Hold on, Mr. Reston. I haven't sent it to you yet. Just give me a minute because I'm going to try and clear the deck so we can get your breakout room set up. So Mr. Dickerson, I'm going to put you in a breakout room number 2.
Okay. And that'll come to my phone, correct?
Yeah, it'll show up as an invitation to breakout room number 2. And then Mr. Taylor, Wesley Taylor, I want to put you in breakout room number 2. All right, and then we'll be back in a moment, okay?
Look at Mr. Resto here. He disappeared from our room.
Hey, Mr. Taylor, who are you looking for?
Mr. Resto, he disappeared from our breakout room.
Okay. I think the judge is going to proceed with Mr. White's motion and then maybe come back to and we can figure out what's happening with Mr. Resto. Were you able to communicate the correct and current sentence recommendation on both cases?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to mute and close my video, but I'm still going to be here. If you need me, feel free to call me by phone or the chat window.
Your Honor is.
Hey, Mr. Resto disappeared suddenly from our breakout room. I'd like to think that wasn't his fault, so he'd ask that no bench warrant be set.
Okay. It happens with Mr. Resto, but that's fine. We won't set a bench warrant.
Okay.
I'm fully invested in resolving Mr. Resto's cases without prolonging them.
Do we need to reset that, Judge?
Yeah, let's go ahead and put it on the October calendar.
Yes, October 6th. At what time was he on? 2? Just put him on 2.
I think, yeah, just put him on 2.
Sorry, I was discussing with Mr. Resto, and I understand something changed about his bond.
Okay. He has bonds with 2 bondsmen. I don't know of anything. Does he have, did somebody come off a bond?
Your Honor, maybe I can address that question.
Okay.
Mr. Resto, our office filed a motion to revoke bond, and that motion was granted a rule nisi, and it was calendared. That motion didn't happen because of the pandemic. It was, I believe, scheduled to happen in 2021, maybe February, but somewhere about that time. I informed Mr. Kamani to inform his client that depending on the outcome of today's arraignment, the state intends to move forward on that bond revocation. Your Honor, may I make a request on that matter?
Sure, Mr. Taylor.
I'd request that the defendant show in person for not for him. Zoom court is or remote appearance is not sufficient.
All right, Mr. Resto.
Is that him, Judge?
Yeah, I believe so. Hold on, Mr.
Okay.
Resto. Let me get Mr. Kamani to Mr. Navarrete, and then I'll come back to you, okay? All right, so Mr. Kamani and Mr. Navarrete, I'll put you in breakout room number 1. Mr. Resto, it's my understanding that you and Mr. Castaneda parted ways with respect to him representing you. Can you hear me, sir? Am I frozen again?
Can you hear me?
No.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Resto. I think I was frozen for a moment. So it's my understanding that you and Mr. Castaneda have parted ways with respect to your case.
Yeah. Did he file a motion to withdraw?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you want to go forward without an attorney representing yourself?
Yeah, it seems like the attorneys that the state appoints me, they have a very hard time of like listening to their clients, like what they have to say. Like I had a conversation with him for like maybe 5 minutes, and he was very like wanted to do what he wanted to do. He didn't want to hear what I had. He was just telling me like I was raising concerns about the state came off of my bond, and I was trying to figure out why they came off of my bond when I show up for court. I gave him no reason to come off my bond, and
Okay,
he said,
so when you say come off your bond, the bonding company has to do that, not the state. So I'm not sure. Like,
well, they
what
filed
happened.
they filed a motion to come off my bond. That's what he stated.
Okay, is that Free at Last or Atlanta Clayton bonding?
No, not Free at Last. It
So
was.
I have that you
He stated that the state filed a motion with your court stating that they wanted to come off my bond to where basically I will have a warrant on me.
Okay, Miss John VA, do you have any outstanding bench warrants for Mr. Resto? I don't recall signing any, but I may have.
Did the state file any motions in regards to that?
No.
Okay, I did. So just Your Honor, I didn't know that he was back. I'd already given the file to my assistant. She said she had just sent off the bench warrant to you as well, I think. So
I didn't think.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, Mr. Resto, you're here. So I haven't signed anything yet.
Okay. Does the state have any intentions on trying to come off my bond?
No, so sir, they don't come off your bond unless you fail to appear. My understanding is you had a medical excuse for being late today, so you contacted.
Yeah, I'm actually still at the hospital. I just had a minor surgery.
Okay, so Miss Val has allowed you to come on to the call today because she knew that you had a medical issue. So we can deal with your case today, or we can give you a continuance until December 6th, but nobody's coming off the bond and the bench warrant will not be signed.
Okay. I want to handle this today. It's kind of been lingering over my head for some years now. I'm really tired of it. And but I hear that the state is trying to like give me like 10 days in jail, and that would like absolutely ruin my business, my life. So I have a 2-year-old son, and I'm a single father.
But listen to me carefully. So here's the thing about at least one of the charges that you have on both cases, which is the driving on suspended or revoked license. That's what we call a statutory charge, which means that the penalty is set in the law. So the state can't really deviate from that. So if it asks for 10 days, then it's mandatory. And you got 2 of those charges, which is why I keep giving you counsel, because they know how to explain it and they know what to request for the best effect in your case. The only thing I can tell you is that with you having a driving on a suspended or revoked license on the case, the 2019 case, and then another one on the 2020 case, then what's going to happen, generally, what I've seen happen in the past, not particularly with you, is that if you plead a nolo to one case, you still have to plead a guilty to the other. That'll still be a second in 5 years or more if you have other driving on suspended or revoked license. And the statute is set. So the first time is, I believe, 12 months to serve 48 hours, a $500 fine. They can give you credit for time served or suspend the service of the 48 hours if they wish to. The second time is 12 months to serve 10 days, then a $1,000 fine. The third time is 12 months, 10 days mandatory. So you have to spend the 10 days in jail, and then a $1,500 fine. And the fourth time is a felony. So have I explained it properly?
Yeah, but see, Judge, in my situation is, okay, I got the documentation from the Alabama motor vehicle department. See, okay. I'm actually an Alabama citizen.
Hold on, I was traveling. Hold on. Let me put you in a breakout room with me and the state so we can hear what you're saying, but we're not putting it all out there in case you want to make a different decision, okay?
Okay. Well, I have no absolute reason to lie, and I really believe
No, it's not that, sir. This is what I would do if you had an attorney who was representing you, okay? So this is called a pre-trial.
Yeah, but I just honestly believe that when you're just being truthful, there's really no need for attorneys when you're just being honest about your situation.
Okay, and that's fine. All I'm saying is I'm giving you the opportunity for a pre-trial. That's what I would do for anybody, attorney or not, okay? So, okay. Ms. Baker, is this your case or is this Miss John VA's case?
I believe this is Ms. John VA, but I would like to be added to the breakout room.
Okay, no problem. So Ms. John VA is in breakout room number 5. I'm going to put Mr. Resto in breakout room number 5. Then Miss Baker, I'll put you in breakout room number 5, and then I'll join. All right, so Mr. Resto, if you'll join, and I'll be in there in a moment. Okay, so Mr. Resto's there. All right, everybody's there. I'm joining. Next is Mr. Resto. Mr. Castaneda was fired by Mr. Resto, so he's no longer counsel of record. Mr. Resto is wanted, and there is no surety on that. Does the state have it? There's no surety order on that. Does the state have a request in the Resto case?
Mr. Resto, yes, state would definitely request a rule absolute on that matter.
Okay, on both cases, a rule absolute will be granted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, y'all. So that's the end of those proceedings. Unfortunately for Mr. Resto, he didn't show up, so he's going to have a warrant for his arrest. He was trying to negotiate down the price. That was kind of funny, and or actually the fine that he had to pay. And Judge Hayward, she kept trying to tell him, like, look, there's no negotiating here. You need to speak to a lawyer to try to get more clarity on all this. But unfortunately, he stuck with his guns, and it just didn't work out for him. And it never does for most of these sovereign citizens. Even when they do get off, most of the time it's just on the technicality. But on that note, I just want to thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get notified when I upload more videos. This is Carl from Sovereign Citizen Chronicles. I'll catch you on the next proceeding. God bless. Peace.